A lower than expected Skeena sockeye return, but pink salmon galore. A slight improvement for Chinook compared to recent years, but what's shaping up as another below average year for summer run steelhead in the Skeena. All this and more coming up in this fisheries update video for the end of July 2025. My name's Kait and I'm a fisheries biologist with SkeenaWild Conservation Trust. We're taking a look at salmon returns and fisheries in the Skeena and Nass so far this year and some of the environmental conditions we're seeing as we head into August. So let's dive in. July is behind us, and that means so is the peak of the sockeye return past the Tyee and into the Skeena. The return has been slightly below average this year, with an updated estimate of about 1,068,000 sockeye past the Tyee as of July 28th. If you've been following escapement from the Tyee, DFO made a correction to escapement calculations on July 30th, which they stated had previously been underestimated so far this season. This correction also changed the in-season total run size estimate from about 1.7 million to 1.9 million, which is still slightly below the average of 2 to 2.5 million and well below the preseason forecast of 2.7 million. Both marine, commercial gillnet and seine fishery openings are expected to continue in the first week of August, especially in light of this adjustment. August openings place additional pressure on sockeye populations of conservation concern, including late-timed wild Babine sockeye, which typically peak through the Tyee around August 7th, as well as Skeena steelhead and chum. Late-timed wild Babine sockeye were the most historically abundant population in the Skeena watershed and have experienced a greater than 90% decline from historic abundance. If you're concerned about these openings, we'll provide some DFO contacts in the comments below for who you can reach out to express your concerns. Skeena Chinook are tracking well below the long-term historical average of about 100,000 as expected, but are tracking relatively well compared to recent years of very low abundance, which saw returns between 20 to 30,000. Pink salmon are showing an extremely strong return in the Skeena so far this year, with an early abundance and the highest Tyee index on record so far. Catches in marine fisheries support strong pink returns to both the Skeena and Nass this year. While it remains early for coho, chum, and steelhead, coho are tracking near or slightly below average so far. Chum have shown an early increase relative to recent years, though it's important to keep in mind that chum have been severely depressed in the Skeena and other North Coast systems for several decades. And steelhead are tracking below average with an estimated 2,500 past the Tyee as of July 24th, compared to a long-term average of around 4,700 on the same date. The Babine fence also started operations on July 9th this year, and as of July 28th, nearly 79,000 large sockeye were counted through the fence. Water levels on the Skeena have been near average so far this season, with help from a relatively cool and wet early summer. Water temperature has generally been on the rise since mid-July. Water level at the Babine fence was 0.6 meters on July 28th, which is below average, but more than double what it was at this time last year, which was a very concerning year for drought and pre-spawn mortality. Water temperature has also been increasing in the past week, recently reaching 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Sustained water temperatures in this range have negative consequences for migrating salmon, leading to stress and pre-spawn mortality. Moving up to the Nass, sockeye returns to the fish wheels are slightly above average, with an estimate of over 230,000 past the fish wheels as of July 29th, compared to an average of about 207,000 on that date. The in-season run size estimate currently ranges from 276 to 461,000, with a point estimate of 345,000. At the Mesiatin Fishway, nearly 50,000 sockeye have been counted as of July 28th, below the average of about 63,000 on that date. Nass Chinook returns are very poor this year, which is consistent with recent years, with approximately 9,270 past the fish wheels as of July 29th, compared to an average of 17,300. The run size is estimated at 10,000 Chinook, which is below the target of about 15,000 to the fish wheels. As of July 28th, 4 Chinook had been counted at the Mesiatin Fishway, compared to an average of about 80. It's still early for Nass chum, coho, and steelhead, but so far coho and steelhead are tracking right around or just slightly below average, with just over 3,000 coho estimated to have passed the fish wheels and about 880 steelhead to date. Water levels in the Nass have mostly been near average this season and recently are below average, with water temperatures above average at both the fish wheels and Mesiaden fishway. We are excited to highlight First Nations leading and expanding selective fisheries this year, with Kitsillas Nation currently using fish wheels in the Skeena River to catch sockeye while being able to release non-target species such as Skeena steelhead and chum unharmed. And both the Gitniau sockeye dipnet fishery at Lac Sanzoc below the Mesiaden fishway and the Wet'suwet'en dipnet fishery for pink salmon at Whitsett starting this week. We were honored to visit these fisheries last summer and look forward to continuing support for selective fisheries in the Skeena and Nass. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll have another update in a couple weeks. The information I shared today comes from Fisheries and Oceans Canada, First Nations fisheries programs, in particular the Nisga'a Department of Fisheries and Wildlife, the Province of BC, and Environment Canada. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at info@SkeenaWild.org. And as a reminder, if you are going fishing, please check the current regulations before doing so.